Yeah, I decided to sit back down again for my videos. Maybe they get better. Now for this video, I will say I probably am very lucky when it comes to genetics. At least in the terms of me not getting sick. My immune system is probably really good, just naturally. But I consistently got sick when I was younger, and only when I introduced certain habits, I actually stopped getting ill. And of course, this made my life so much better. No recovering, lying in bed, and instead I start basically every day for 9 or 10 years by now, healthy and with energy. So I think I'm qualified to make this video. Before we get into it, I will say, of course, sometimes I do get ill too. But like I said, for the last 9 or 10 years, I barely have ever been sick. I maybe was like maybe 2 to 3 times since then. But even then, just 1 or 2 days and only with relatively light symptoms. And of course, that's awesome. I hope I didn't jinx it now. But yeah, let's hope it stays that way. And in this video, I will now tell you the things that enable me to live that life so that you can just copy me and do what I do and hopefully stop getting sick as well. Or at least get sick much more rarely. So maybe let's just get into it. Shall we? Alright, the first thing I just quickly want to talk about, because I already talked about it in previous videos, is just vitamin D. Since I started supplementing with vitamin D and I take pretty high doses, I don't really get sick. Or if I do get sick, those symptoms are definitely not as bad versus when I don't take vitamin D. So for me, vitamin D is super important, extremely essential, and every time I don't take vitamin D for a few weeks, only then I potentially get sick, and those symptoms again are much worse than when I do take it. So this video is not medical advice, but for me, vitamin D really changed everything. I made videos about it already, so if you want more info, just go on my channel and watch one of my videos on vitamin D. Then another very important thing that I've done for the last 10 years or so quite consistently is just exercising. Like, I'm not a super athlete, I'm not the most jacked guy or anything like that, but that also was never my goal. Like, of course, I wanted to look better, that's why I started going to the gym, but I never had the ambition to look like C-bum, you know? More importantly, maybe, is that this regular exercise, on average, probably 3 to 4 times a week, every week, unless I'm on vacation, improved my health. It definitely improved my mood as well, or it continuously does so. But exercise is also extremely important for good health and energy. So that is another essential. And around the same time I started supplementing with vitamin D, I also started going to the gym. Before that, I played table tennis and hockey and some other sports before that. But I think combining exercise 3 to 4 times a week in the gym with taking vitamin D has been really impactful for my health. So that's the second essential. The third essential is kind of boring, but it is important. It's just hygiene. Like, yeah, hygiene matters. Personally, I think I pay attention to this quite a lot. Like, I wash my hands quite regularly. I often have hand sanitizer with me. Not always, I'm not a freak, but I think I do have a pretty good hygiene. I mean, that's probably why I almost never get sick, right? It's not just the vitamin D, the exercise, and the things I talk about later in this video, but also because I'm just very hygienic, especially when it comes to bacteria and stuff that could infect me. By the way, I also never got COVID. That's another good thing. I wasn't scared of it, but it's nice to just not have it. And also, and this may sound weird or may sound like I'm crazy, but I do feel like I have this sixth sense, yes, I'm German, sorry guys, for harmful bacteria. So what I mean by that is that I just feel when I should wash my hands. Like, I just kind of know. Of course, I don't know if I would get sick now if I don't wash my hands, but like, I remember when I touched something in the bus or on the metro or in a supermarket, or I shook hands with many people, or I touched money, or whatever it is, right? I come home, I always wash my hands, and I also notice when people touch something dirty or something very likely with a lot of bacteria, and then they don't wash their hands and they just eat food with their fingers. No! Again, I'm not crazy, Like, it's not to an extreme level, but I think just paying attention to your hands and that they are clean, that's really going to be very important if you don't want to get ill. Another thing I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about the fourth basic later as well, but just a small thing that I still think is very important, is just preparation. What do I mean by that? What I mean is to actually look what the weather is going to be like. I don't understand how so many people don't check the weather before they go outside for multiple hours. They don't even check the temperature and they don't look if it's gonna rain. But of course, when you don't have the right clothing, you're outside, it's cold, maybe it's also gonna rain, and all you have is a t-shirt, you're way more likely to get sick. When your immune system is good, you definitely don't have to get sick because of that. But I think quite often I'm pretty well prepared, and most people do get sick when they just didn't dress right. The cold weather doesn't make you ill, but of course it worsens your immune system. So maybe just prepare, think ahead, and pack that extra jacket. Then also tip number 5, something I've always kind of done, is to just eat a varied and balanced diet. Like for most of the last years, I didn't eat a crazy way. I just focused on variety and on balance. And only lately I've been looking more on micronutrients. I've been experimenting with stuff like a keto diet, carnivore, animal-based, things like that. And I will say I love the keto diet for energy, for focus, for mood. And I don't think it's gonna worsen my immune system. I think it's actually gonna improve it even more. But I'm gonna be honest, for the last 9 years, 8 of those I just ate an average diet. But I did try to focus, like I said, balance and variety. I tried to eat different things to make sure I'm not deficient in one micronutrient, and I tried to focus on not eating too much shit as well. This actually leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, and that is to fix your nutrient deficiencies and potentially do supplementation as well. For me, that was never really needed. Like, yes, I supplemented with vitamin D, but that has been the only supplement I took consistently for years. But for all the other micronutrients, I just tried to get them through my diet. But of course, in an optimal way, and I'm doing this recently, I just look at the micronutrients that I actually do get from my diet. And maybe at one point I will actually get a proper blood test as well, check for any deficiencies, and then of course fix those. So of course, if you want, check your blood. That's going to be very impactful. Fix those nutrient deficiencies. Or again, like I said earlier, try to get all your micronutrients mainly by eating a balanced, varied diet, or just by knowing and eating certain foods for specific micronutrients. So for example, okay, I'm gonna eat some kiwi for my vitamin C, whatever. Or what you can do, just spam eggs, spam steak, fruit, liver, and that's probably gonna do you perfectly fine as well. No advice, of course, I'm not your doctor. Then the next thing that is very essential, probably the top 3 most important factors for me staying healthy, is simply sleep. Boring topic, you know sleep is important, but I really prioritized my sleep for years now. Yes, sometimes I will have almost no sleep at night. A few times I didn't get any sleep in one night, but usually my sleep is very good. I sleep about 8 hours every night. I sleep at pretty similar times, and I also sleep quite early and wake up early. And the quality of my sleep is also pretty good. I don't wake up a ton of times. I don't have super light sleep. I mean, my sleep is quite light, but I think to a perfect level. So yeah, fix your sleep if that's a problem. That's going to be very essential for good health as well. Then of course, also you need balanced socializing. What I mean by that is, of course, you need some socializing for good health, especially mental health. But I think your physical health is kind of influenced by this too. But I will also tell you, I'm not around people every single day, and especially not all day long. I'm not antisocial at all, but I'm also not around people all the time. Of course, that will increase your risk of getting ill. I'm not avoiding people to stay healthy, but I still wanted to quickly address this because, of course, this plays a role. Other people are just the biggest risk for you actually getting ill. And then, lastly, I think this is very, very important, but I also won't waste a lot of time talking about this. While I do take those steps to not get ill, I don't do it to a crazy extent. And sometimes I willingly, completely aware of the situation, do take the risk of actually getting bacteria into my system. For example, when my fingers are dirty, I know that there are bacteria on there that could easily infect me with something, and I still touch my teeth to get something out of there, which could easily infect me. When something is on my tongue and I'm on the go and I know I just touched money, yeah, whatever. If I have to get that out of there, I do it. I think I have a pretty healthy relationship with this whole thing. Of course, I try to not get sick and not catch bacteria, but sometimes I even willingly get bacteria into my system, because the truth is, your body needs it too. Your body needs certain bacteria or a virus in your system to actually not get ill from that. Now, this is not my expertise, but all I wanted to say is don't fear it too much. Keep a healthy balance and sometimes put your body in a situation which might not be optimal for health. This includes cold and heat exposure too. I don't know if I talked about that earlier, so in case I forgot it, I just quickly want to say I take cold showers quite regularly. I also go to the sauna from time to time, which both only further improve my health, I think. Getting used to that is really helpful, and especially knowing how to deal with cold. Taking cold showers regularly is really good and has been proven by proper studies to improve and help your immune system. But that's really all I wanted to talk about. If you want to know how exactly I eat, just check out this video or just check one of my other videos. Either way, that's of course going to be up to you. I think if you do those things, you can be very healthy too. And then just have a great day, eat your eggs, and bye.